Hello everyone, this is the Nameless One, and today we will be going over the highlights for the Lost Memories campaign episode 6. The first clip is the party's initial encounter with the God Engine Liberation after leaving the Mechanist camp. Roll clip. So, as you guys are going, you see something in the distance. Something big.
I'm meant to have great perception, and that's how I roll.
And in case you were wondering, it is in your path, but it is heading not in the same direction as you. Would you like to get a closer look?
I don't see it, so I'm still walking forward.
I'd be able to shadow it?
It's moving and big.
For frame of reference, when I say big and you see it from a distance, I mean like it's like
around the tree level?
Well, no, it's above the tree level.
It's like looking at a skyscraper as you drive into a city that walks.
So Attack on Titans.
It is of the very big. So, want to try and get a closer look, or are you gonna stop the party and wait for it to continue on? In case you were wondering, it doesn't appear to have noticed you.
It would probably be for the best to just stop for a little while and let it pass.
I just want to state both me and Petrol don't see it.
So, as you guys are apparently trying to decide, it looks like the Changeling and the Pegasi are both deciding for you as they continue. Unless Petrol has some sort of something to say against that.
Nope, because I can't even see it.
I'm assuming you don't even notice the rest of the party stopping?
Nope, somehow despite being in the air, I can't see the skyscraper.
I'm looking down at the ground.
Probably because you're literally flying in a cloud.
So,
can that be a thing?
So, for the two that continued forward, unless the party decides to follow...
Or stop.
Yes, I can shadow follow it.
So,
I guess we follow the party.
As you guys get closer, you get to the wood line, and it's kind of a higher hill area, but you can see that in the distance, it looks like a giant bipedal machine. It's got two limbs about where a humanoid set of shoulders would be. No head above. It does seem to have some sort of chassis on the front, though. This thing, one of its feet is roughly about the size of Ponyville.
We should go.
Surprising that ponies designed something that doesn't look like
Everybody,
ponies.
do me a favor and roll perception again.
Hey, I succeed.
Okay, roll 20. Could you not?
I see the well.
I see
Too
very
small
well.
to see well.
Did the doc also do a C? Because I don't remember what yours was.
The dock is successfully seed.
Okay, so for everybody but Petrol, you see what looks like a fairly large group of ponies. And for those that got a 10 or below, for their check, you can hear whooping, hollering, and screaming as they are charging directly at this thing. You also see several rockets being fired from the group.
I put a hoof up and just kind of
What's
try
going
to
on
pause
there?
everybody.
It is a very much head straight for the big thing charge. Doc, if the party points them out to you, you can go ahead and roll a area knowledge check to see if you know what they are.
I go ahead and point it out to party. Out of concern that I am going crazy.
Yes, I know a thing.
So, Doc is able to inform you that these are in fact the psychos you have heard very little about.
Oh, God, these
Maybe we can wait for them all to get killed. If we wait for them to inevitably die from that big machine thing, we can just take this stuff.
Oh, that's true. We can just take their stuff after they die.
We'd also have to wait for a tree
Okay.
first.
So,
But my question is, how stupid are these guys? It's like, are they too stupid to live, or so stupid that they will live?
The answer is yes.
They're just smart enough to survive, but too dumb to thrive.
So, as he says this, you see that the rockets that they had been firing finally hit the target, as if they could possibly miss that. And it pauses and kind of turns towards them. And the two limbs you notice, one seems to be a giant claw with something in the middle of it, and the other is essentially a howitzer Gatling gun, which it opens fire with on the group.
Yeah, that's it.
And Louise.
Which their reaction to that is to continue charging through the rain of artillery fire. At which point it opens its claw and spews out fire at them.
Now watch as the elegant psychos take the being it way over their head as a personal challenge. This is how a psycho tribe dies.
Yes, Doc has now pointed out the obvious fact as the Psycho tribe has been wiped out and the machine continues its stomping walk. This next clip is the first encounter the party has with the legendary Guardian of Canterlot, the one responsible for creating the shield around Canterlot Mountain, as well as some of their interactions with the cult that follows him. Roll clip. After a couple of hours, you see that the barrier seems to be glowing brighter as something approaches from east, yes. So, are you going to just sit at a distance and watch, or do you want to get a closer look?
I would attempt to get slightly closer. I'm not going to get close enough that it may be seen as a hostile move.
Well, as you watch the Kazites, because that is the name of the tribe, as Doc told you, the Kazites are all clustering around the shield. They seem super excited for whatever it is that is headed y'all's way.
So it seems like it's on the inside of this shield. It's moving by.
Okay, and as you guys watch, there's a distortion in the shield as a skeletal unicorn, much as promised, begins trotting past the camp. He is actually not exactly on the inside of the shield as so much as he is basically part of the shield.
Oh.
He is also not exactly what you would have expected for a normal skeleton either, as he continues his slow walk. If you want to get closer, you can roll perception to see if you can hear, because his jaw is working like he is talking, but you don't actually hear anything from the distance. Okay.
I passed by 4.
Okay. Anybody else getting a closer look or listen?
If I heard it, I probably wouldn't understand that magic hubbub anyways.
So,
I'll actually pass that.
for Paige specifically, you recognize it as a chant for... You've heard about them for some of the older equestrian spells and often used in spells from other worlds. But as far as you can tell off of what you're hearing, this isn't something you've heard from Equestria. On closer inspection as well, you do notice that the skeleton, despite looking like a bleached white skeleton, it is wearing rather smartly dressed. And you do see the occasional, the coat that he's wearing will snag on something and tear, only to mend itself. As he continues this walk. His eye sockets are empty, for all intents and purposes, if he were to not be moving and not have the magical field that seems to be fused with, the energy around him, he would look like a strangely shaped skeleton. At least his skull is oddly shaped.
Misshapen for a unicorn?
Well, the horn seems to be more made of a magical energy, and weirdly enough, the ears are made of bone.
Oh.
As it continues its course, you also notice that the barrier seems to glow brighter behind it than it did in front of it.
What are you guys listening to? What is that? I'm in earshot distance and I already passed the thing.
You also notice that Bookend is basically like has her ear as close to his mouth as she can get it. Our final clip is the first signs of something dangerous lurking in the waste that the party is currently traveling through. Roll clip. So, for Doc specifically, you do see crows in the woodline. Next watch.
I'm going to point to where I saw the crows and make sure that the next watch knows to keep an eye out that way.
I guess me and Brendan are the ones who are doing the watch, right?
Well, I've chosen both me
Who
and
brain? It's not brain dead. Brain dead. It implies that they're dead. They're not dead. They're just medically incapable of thought temporarily.
Well, I succeeded by 2, so.
Okay. And you do not see anything on your watch.
At least me for last.
and me.
Hey, true.
Hey, I passed by one.
You do see
We went fast.
another set of crows in the woodline. So,
They're kind of freaking me out.
Nothing too major.
so, you guys ready to start heading into the woods? Because that is the direction you need to go.
Yeah, I guess.
As ready as we can be.
So, for Doc specifically, you do see more crows starting to show up in the trees. Everybody else,
Awesome.
you see the occasional crow, but you don't see like an alarming number or anything.
Don't make any obvious reactions. I think we're being watched.
Watched by what?
What do you
I
mean?
don't know yet.
Oh, as you guys are making your way through the woods, it's starting to get a bit dark. It's like early dusk, and you come across what looks like an actual hard structure in the distance. Not that far in the distance, but it's close enough that you're having trouble seeing it in the low light. As you get closer, though, you realize that there's several buildings here, strangely enough, and it isn't like somewhere that you knew to be a Ponyville's like village or anything like that. Any of the old world villages.
Yeah.
But you also notice it's kind of weirdly quiet now.
Do those buildings have windows?
They look like they're regularly made houses, so yes.
Okay.
Although the craftsmanship is a bit shoddier than what you would normally see throughout Equestria, and they do seem slightly newer than most of the stuff you've seen so far.
Am I able to fly around and try to scan through the windows?
Okay, go ahead and roll perception. Let's see how.
Yes! Yes!
So as you
Yep.
get to one of the windows, the first thing
What's a good roll?
you notice is, good lord, does it stink. And as you look through the window, you see, like, you'd like to say that it's more than one corpse, but the way it has been ripped apart and spread around the room, it's kind of hard to tell. There's at least 3 extra feet, so you're going to assume that it is more than one corpse.
Okay.
At least 2 corpses.
I slowly make my way to the party and whisper quietly to them. There might be a murderous killing machine around. There was an unknown number of bodies in a house. Be very, very careful.
Of course, it's murderous killing machine. It's called me, but if there's bodies here, of course we should be careful.
And that's all we have time for today. A big thanks to Haxteros, this video's editor. As well as additional thanks to Forever Free Brony for the intro, outro, and background music. And if you're curious as to what the party encountered, then feel free to either watch through the streams, or subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated for when we upload our next video. Like and comment on this video to let us know what you think. Have a nice day and drink water.